Hey Anthem, welcome to another Welcome Wednesday, the day of the week where we corporately together meditate on entering into joining the welcoming heart of God as we seek to love one another and love our neighbors well during this season. Super short video today. I know I always say that, but today I really mean it. I just want to look at a verse together and meditate on it as we think about welcoming others. Let's take a look. So through this season, as we've been talking about welcoming and joining in, imitating the welcoming heart of God to our neighbors, our friends, and to each other, if you're anything like me, you've definitely hit walls of indifference, where it's really hard to care about the good of others, care about welcoming others, care about the mission of God during this time, the love of God, and spreading that love of God through this time. It's really easy with all of the concerns we have and the changes in our schedules and the changes in our responsibilities to be a bit indifferent to this. Why would I spend extra effort caring for others when I have my own problems to deal with, my own insecurities, my own fears, my own uncertainties and anxieties during this time? It seems like an extra burden to try and consider others and even taking on the burdens of others during this time. And I want you to be encouraged that if you're feeling this, this is totally normal. This is something I think that we can all relate to during this season that we're in. It's easy to hunker in and consider our own needs, as we kind of talked about last week. And I kind of wanted to continue in that thread a little bit about that indifference that we are all feeling at times towards others and towards joining and imitating the welcoming heart of God in this time. And what I love about Scripture is it's not quiet about this indifference. And I want to share one of my favorite stories of Jesus to talk about this. So let's take a look at the book of Matthew. So this story is from the book of Matthew, chapter 9. I won't talk about the whole thing, but I want to read it all and then focus in on one really important part. It says this: "And Jesus went throughout all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every disease and every affliction. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, 'The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest, to send out laborers into his harvest.'" What I love about the first half is that we just see Jesus going for it. He's loving, he's teaching, he's healing, he's being the present Jesus that we know and that we love him for. And he sees the crowds, and that word compassion, we've talked about it many times, really is an image of like that guttural reaction. It's not like pity or this sort of vague sadness about their condition. It is a gut-wrenching compassion that he has for them because they don't know him. They don't know him in the way that he longs for them to know him. So he turns to his disciples, those who he's teaching and mentoring and loving and shepherding to be like him. And he says, "Look at the harvest. There's many people who need to know about me and who need to experience my love and my welcome. But there are many people engaging them." And this is the key verse, this last one. What I love about Jesus is he doesn't say, read these books. He doesn't say, consider these strategies. He doesn't say we need to have an interest meeting and figure it all out. He says to pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest and to send out laborers into his harvest. His first priority is prayer, praying for the hearts of the people to be stirred like his heart is. Strategy is fine, books are fine, these are all good things, I'm not saying they're not, but Jesus' first step, his first place to tell his disciples to go is, hey, pray for your souls and pray for the souls of others, that they would be stirred towards welcoming other people, that they would be stirred with compassion, the compassion that I, Jesus, feel for them. And that in that prayer, we would ask God to stir us up and send us out to welcome in the ways that we can, to show the love of God in the ways that we can during this season. So I would just say in closing, if you feel that way, if you feel indifferent, if you feel lethargic, I know I do, and this week I especially have felt pretty indifferent to the people around me and to the mission that God's all called us to. Instead of trying to conjure it up in your flesh and in your own effort, I would take Jesus' advice and spend some time praying that he would break your heart for your neighbors, for the city of San Rafael, for the county of Marin, that He would be the one to move you to action, and that we would not be trying to love others out of a sense of guilt or obligation, but instead that we would have the compassion of Christ stirred within us, that we would be stirred up and sent out to be the people, the men, the women, the children that He has called us to be, to love our neighbors during this time. Love you guys. We'll see you again next week. Remember to share in all the ways I've listed on social media, via email, or to our Anthem in Place on the app, the ways that God is working in and through you during this time. We want to share in those so that we can all celebrate and be encouraged by them. Take care. We'll see you next week.